been the story of this World Cup. It looks like all the others here have come to play, but India have come to conquer. And that's what they did against England, who are counting the days to when they can get back to their cuddly beds at home, away from the cold reality of this World Cup, which is that they have been knocked out. Only a miracle can save them, and I don't think they want that miracle. They've checked out. As for India, on the other hand, even on a day when they batted first and their batting fell short of 20 to 30 runs, their bowlers bowled with the heart that we've seen in the tournament in every game that they've played, to prove yet again how they are the best bowling unit of this World Cup. Jamie Alter's here with us on the show, Chetan Narula as well. Two gentlemen who predicted right that India were going to win. We're not going to get into the semantics of it. Both said India will win. India won comfortably. But guys, excuse me, how good were India? And before I get to that, have you reached a point where now you're just feeling sorry? You're feeling sad for England? Has that point come, Jamie?
I mean, look, I don't really have any allegiance or any support to England, especially when it comes in the white ball cricket. In the Ashes, I always lean towards them because I've not been a fan of Australian sides since school days. But look, when you're this horrible, and Owen Morgan, who remains the only, I won't say Englishman because he's Irish, and the irony is that it took an Irishman to come and wake up and shake up England cricket. When he's saying that he's not seen anything worse, not just in cricket, in sport, that's a massive statement. Now, Matthew Mott can deny until the cows come home that there's nothing wrong, but there clearly is something wrong with this England team. Do I feel sorry? No, I just feel bad because I'm going to sound like a stuck record. You have a 10-team nation, and literally 4 of them are playing good cricket. A 5th one is playing decent cricket. And then the other 4, it doesn't really matter. See, unfortunately, Meha, cricket can be such a sad game in that, unlike any other sports, we analysts, we journalists, we fans, until the last moment we talk about combinations, permutations. It's such a waste of time. There are 4 teams who are not going to make the semi-finals. Just like many IPLs, we do all this discourse about ho sakta hai. When are we going to admit as cricket fans and journalists that the writing is on the wall? The top 4 was so evident, and yes, that match between Pakistan and South Africa went down to the wire. But the irony of that match was that match confirmed the top 4. So yes, you can say that, it's unfortunate that England have been here, but we're still looking at a tournament where the top 4, like many past IPLs, the final 4 was decided a long time ago. So England, unfortunately, they're abject, but are Bangladesh any better? Not really. Are Pakistan any better? Not really. So the only bright spark for me has been how Afghanistan have beaten 2 teams and how Netherlands have beaten 2 teams. So my point is, I'm struggling to separate how bad England have been from how bad at least 3 other teams have been. It's just that lopsided a World Cup.
Yeah, but I would disagree with that slightly, because England are England. They're defending champions. You were obviously not expecting Bangladesh and the others who are at the bottom of the table to really win this tournament. But everybody had England in their top 4 before this tournament began. The fact that they've been absolutely terrible, and the fact that now this is all mental, Chetan. They've checked out. They've now openly spoken about how they have no confidence left in this side. That is why I'm saying, are you feeling sorry for the side? Because they still have 14 days to go. They still have to play all the games from here on. They can't just call ICC and say, hey, can we just go back, please? Nahi ho payega humse. They've got to still be here, because that's how bad they're looking on the field at the moment. You're not seeing this with others, but the body language of this English team, they want to just leave. Bhai, kaise bhi? Just let us go.
Yeah, but they will not be allowed to leave, Neha. And that's the best part, because this is England we're talking about. We don't feel sorry for England. Colonial hangover or whatever. This is England, the saviors of Test cricket, the people who changed ODI cricket, the people who invented T20 cricket, the people who invented 100 needlessly. You don't need to feel sorry for English cricket. You don't need to feel sorry for any English sport or any English team in any English sport, really, because this is how they put themselves out there. And 2019 they displeased a lot of people by winning that final on boundary count, and everybody is just kind of taking a bit of a pleasure. You can, yes, it feels kind of torture right now, but it's okay. Like I said, it's the English cricket team, so it feels okay. Look, yesterday I think they played well in terms of the bowling, in terms of the fielding. I think I saw a spark in them, which previously I perhaps hadn't seen in this tournament. 230 was a good total to chase down, really. But then again, when you come to the batting aspect of it, and when you come to the bowling aspect of it, and I mean India's bowling, you're facing the best bowling attack in the tournament, probably India's best bowling attack ever in a World Cup, and a very, very hapless English batting, which clearly has no clue. And look, I don't want to get into, what is wrong in the English dressing room. Is there something wrong in the English dressing room? There has to be, right? There has to be.
I think we should. We got into what was wrong with Pakistan dressing room. Now, Owen Morgan has said something's definitely going on, which Matthew Motts has decided to deny. He said, no, there's nothing. Owen Morgan's actually close to a lot of the players in that dressing room. So if he's saying something's going on, there's never smoke without fire. But yes, carry on.
True. I understand. Yeah, I would just want to say the phrase that there's no smoke without fire. But, what surprises me is somebody like a Ross Butler is a very, very inspirational figure in that team. He's an excellent batsman. What a brilliant batsman. My heart, if there's anybody in that team that my heart goes out to, it's actually Ross Butler, because I'm a huge fan of Ross Butler. What I don't understand is what is he doing batting at number 5, number 6. Then there is Ben Stokes, who's probably the greatest clutch player of all time. Put him in a difficult situation. And yesterday you saw him in a difficult situation. And that's the kind of shot he played. So there's something definitely wrong. We'll probably know about it before the tournament ends, because that's how English cricket and English media works, that they do figure it out. If Evan Morgan has said something, and like you said, there's no smoke without fire, there's no doubt that somebody will find out what exactly it is. But having said that, that's my problem, right? You have two big inspirational figureheads in that dressing room. Then you add Joe Root to it. There's a ton of experience of these players having played in India. And you just think, what has gone wrong? What has gone so wrong? Did they not identify with the task ahead of them? Did they not feel it? Are they burnt out after that long summer playing Ashes cricket? Are they burnt out having played IPL? Are they disappointed with, contract negotiations? Central contract negotiations were going on while this World Cup has been on. Which cricket board would do that? I mean, why would you do that? Why can't you leave the negotiations for after the World Cup or before the World Cup? And I'll tell you why they have to do the negotiations now. Because some guy broke a story that IPL contracts will be handed out for 12 months, which is not true, by the way. Which is not at all true, because where's the pathway for that? Why would Mumbai Indians hire Jofra Archer for 12 months when they can't play him for 12 months, right? And you can't hire him for 12 months and play him in every league, because there's an auction pool or there is a draft pool. You can't really do that. Mumbai Indians can't play Jofra Archer in every league that they participate in. So that was not the correct story. And what does ECB do? They offer multi-year contracts, 3-year contracts, 2-year contracts, because they got scared on a story which was not true. So this is English cricket for you. It's just a madhouse at the moment.
It is, because England are all but out of this World Cup after being hammered by 100 runs yesterday, and their qualification for the 2025 Champions Trophy, that's also at risk right now. Because, that will be decided based on this World Cup's rankings. And only 7 from that list will be in that tournament, with Pakistan being the host. So that'll be also, interesting to see. They are in the last place with 3 matches to play, behind Bangladesh and Netherlands. They're still struggling in every department. Yesterday's match in Lucknow was England's 5th loss of the World Cup, which makes it officially their worst run in any edition. And to think that they're defending champions, to think that they are the T20 champions. And here we are with this team completely abject in their performance. Having done well to keep India to 229, the defending champions never came near to that target. Indian captain Rohit Sharma gave a masterclass in how to bat in those difficult conditions, scoring 87 of 101, which was important for India because nobody else managed to really build a big partnership after he was gone. KL Rahul and Suryakumar Yadav, they played cameos of 39 and 49 respectively, taking India to 229, which was clearly below par, which was clearly 20 to 30 runs short. But Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami reduced England to 39 for 4. And from there on, it was a slew of wickets in another shambolic England batting performance. All out for 129 to lose by 100 runs and remain at rock bottom. But we've got to now shift focus to how absolutely incredible this Indian team has been when their batting, is not up to that level that's now expected of them. The bowlers do the job, and they've been doing the job. Somewhere, I think, guys, we've got to admit that the batters have taken more credit. The bowlers have done their job from the first match. And yesterday was as clinical as they could get, Jamie. It was an absolutely brilliant bowling performance.
Absolutely. I mean, we've all been discussing and praising how exceptional this Indian bowling attack is, and it is the best to my mind. And I've gone through every single World Cup squad before saying this last night on another show. This is India's best bowling attack because man to man. And look, I know Shardul Thakur is going through a tough run. He's copped a lot of flack, but he's still India's third most successful one-day bowler in the last 3 years. So we have to give some credits where it's due. And when you have Ashwin, someone on the bench, that just says, what kind of bowling you have. Coming to the batting thing, look, when you chase 5 matches and you win 5 matches in front of manic, rabid fans who, like Chetan, has never stopped to remind us all that, they're here to watch Virat Kohli primarily, then Rohit Sharma, and the other 9, unfortunately, really don't matter. So when the Rohits and the Virat Kohlis are there at the finish line, I'll say it again, contriving themselves to get hundreds, and when matches are finished with 6s, the batsmen will dominate the headlines. But can we just please reiterate the fact that Rahul and Rohit and Virat are finishing matches, or in Rohit's case, almost finishing matches? It is because the totals have been gettable, right? We're still waiting for that off day for the bowlers. I don't think it'll happen. It might happen if South Africa bat first, because they're just that outstanding a team. But it has been the bowlers. I mean, how did 229 suddenly look like 500 yesterday? Yes, it was a tricky pitch. There was dew, there were lights. But Bumrah is perhaps, alongside Zaheer Khan, the best new ball white bowler or one-day bowler India have ever had. So if you get past him, hats off to you. But then Shami's coming on. What, 2 matches, 9 wickets, and you didn't play the first four games? This World Cup is and will continue to be about India's bowling. If they win the World Cup, the credit is going to have to go to the bowlers. It won't, and I know why, because TV channels and websites all like to play up the batsmen, namely Virat Kohli and then Rohit Sharma. The bowlers won't get the credit, but I have no doubt that these 6 matches and whatever matches are left, 5 matches left, if they get to the final, it'll be because of the best bowling attack India have ever taken to any World Cup.
Okay, that's a big statement. Let's now put this quote by Rohit Sharma about India's bowling performance. And he says, with the experience that our seamers have now, you can always rely and bank on it. And that they could come good and get you those crucial breakthroughs. This is Rohit Sharma talking about the experience of Indian seamers and how well they've been bowling. If you could put that quote up. And he says, this is the one for the batters. He says, we're not great with the bat today. Losing 3 wickets in the first power play isn't the ideal situation. But when you are in a situation like that, all you're looking to do is create that long partnership, which we got. But then a couple of guys threw it away at the end, including myself. When you look at the overall picture, I thought we were 30 runs short there. We will discuss India's batting performance. But first, let's stick to the bowling. And let's put that quote by Rohit Sharma about India's bowling. He says, with the experience that our seamers have now, you can always rely and bank on it, that they can come good and get you those crucial breakthroughs. And that is exactly what our seamers did. They exploited the conditions well, and I thought they put the ball in the right areas to create that doubt in the batsman's mind. To me, there was this time period which just was incredible, which was how Mohammad Shami set up Ben Stokes. To see that struggle, to, put the pressure on Ben Stokes, the most competitive, Virat Kohli's favorite Ben Stokes, to constantly put that pressure on him, Chetan, only to get his wicket in those 10 deliveries. That is what epitomizes Indian bowling at the moment. That's how good they are in these conditions.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, if you talk about the entire Indian bowling lineup, they have all the bases covered. Jasprit Bumrah, he's a fascinating, rare, one-of-a-kind bowler. You can try, but you will never be able to replicate Jasprit Bumrah. There's just no way you can replicate Jasprit Bumrah. Then you have Mohammad Siraj. He hasn't been able to find his rhythm, but he's supporting the two other fast bowlers now very well. Mohammad Shami, I'll come to him in just a bit when I talk about that Ben Stokes dismissal. He is a brilliant bowler. I'll just say that for now. But then you have Jadeja and Kuldeep. And Kuldeep, oh my God, that delivery to Josh Butler. And I said that last evening as well. Shane Warne would have been watching it and would have been proud of that delivery to get that turn. Yes, there was a little bit of turn in that pitch, but with dew around, it wasn't really turning. But to get that ball perfect length, get that ball to turn in and bamboozle a batsman of the caliber of Josh Butler. Yes, he's low on confidence and low on form, but he's still Josh Butler. To get him with that delivery, oh my God, that was such a brilliant ball. Overall, like I said, this Indian attack has covered all bases. They're missing Hardik Pandya. When he comes back, they'll get the entire equilibrium in the team. But even then, they just got all bases covered. And they have somebody like Ashwin still sitting on the bench. It's, last night Jamie said that this is the best bowling attack perhaps in a World Cup. I went back, I just sifted through the memories. I thought 1983 attack was really good. For those conditions, you had Kapil Dev, and then you had Chetan Sharma, Roger Binney, Madan Lal, Mohinder Amarnath bowling that dibbly-dobbly stuff. Balwinder Sandhu, I mean, that delivery he bowled in that final. Dibbly-dobbly bowlers combined with two really good fast bowlers. For those conditions, it was the perfect attack. But India was not really India at that time. We were minnows. We were looking to upset the giants. We were David versus Goliath in 1983 World Cup final. When you go to the 1985 Benson and Hedges Championship, that to me was perhaps the perfect bowling attack for India in ODI cricket, with L. Sivaramakrishnan added to it, his wrist spin added to it. But that was not a World Cup. So Jamie's statement is right that this is arguably the best bowling attack India has had in a World Cup. Now, let's come to that Shami versus Stokes thing. I mean, Stokes is, like I said, he's a great batsman. He's a great batsman. Like I said, he's my favorite batsman in a clutch situation. Shami, meanwhile, is perhaps the best proponent of that seam position, Holding the seam right is an art, but then landing the ball on that upright seam. The ball needs to be upright so that it can land on the seam, on that pitch, and then get that movement off the surface. There is nobody, not even Jasprit Bumrah, there is nobody in world cricket today who lands the ball perfectly straight on that seam. There is nobody better at it than Mohammad Shami. And watching those 10 deliveries, play and a miss, play and a miss, play and a miss, that was because Ben Stokes is a good batsman, That's the only reason he was missing those deliveries. And then you had those 46,000 boisterous people cheering on, that noise. You're Ben Stokes. You're not able to put bat to ball. And 46,000 people are sitting right here on your shoulders, screaming in your ears. You can't feel your bat. You're nervous. You're sweaty. It's pour down, Obviously, he was going to play that shot. That was not a Ben Stokes shot, but obviously he was going to play that shot. And obviously, Shami was going to hit the stumps at some point. What a brilliant passage of play. What a brilliant passage of play.
Yeah, and to think that this was Ben Stokes, Jamie. He's not he's not easily phased. He's not somebody who gets bothered. He's handled pressure situations. If there's one person who's known to handle pressure situations really well, it's Ben Stokes. But the pressure that was created from Mohammad Shami, that just goes on to show how good Mohammad Shami is.
Absolutely, and I said on this show many times, that due to the certain combination, and Hardik Pandya's presence and the lack of an all-rounder, Mohammad Shami is probably not going to play more than 2, maximum 3 matches. And look what he's done. He comes off the bench and he takes 9 wickets. This was a far more high-class bowling performance than what he did against New Zealand. Of course, he had a massive hand in keeping that team to 34 for 2. It would have been 34 for 3 had Jadeja taken that catch off Shami's bowling inside the first 10 overs. And then to come back and take, 5 wickets, I think India took in the last 5 overs, that was outstanding. But like Chetan is saying, that skill, to land the ball, yes, under lights, it was tricky. That pitch was not easy to bat on, batting second. But to come in and just, pick up from where Jasprit Bumrah left off, to land the ball, to do that, to bowl good pace, and just to put the doubts in the mind, suddenly, and look, they were 30 for no loss and suddenly 39 for 4 in the span of 3 overs. That is just outstanding skill. Again, when Hardik Pandya comes back, I have no doubt that, Shami is still going to play. You cannot drop him now with 9 wickets. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Maya, he's 7 wickets away from going past Zaheer Khan as India's most successful bowler in any World Cup. And we're talking about a player who in 2015 missed the first 4 matches and in 2023 missed the first 4 matches. That just underlines, how maybe even underrated many people think he is in one day. And yes, he's done outstanding in these 2 matches. But it was just, a month ago that he rocked up on that flat Mohali wicket and took 5 wickets. When you're doing that, look, Chetan and I both said as long as Shardul Thakur's around, he's not going to get that many matches. And look at it. It took one Hardik Pandya injury for Shami to come in. But hats off to you for coming in off the bench and reminding everyone, like Chetan said, this is an art. And when you're landing it, out of 60 balls, he's probably landing it, 46, 47 times. This is just a guess. And this is why he's just exceptional. And Hardik Pandya will come back probably for the semi-finals. They're going to have to either drop Suryakumar Yadav and play this. Because look, I think we can all admit, the moment Mohammad Shami walks out to bat, it's happened twice now, our confidence does dip, right? Because these guys cannot bat. But what you're getting by playing him, I think it sort of nullifies the lack of batting at the death.
I also feel like
hats off to Mohammad Shami.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also feel that when Hardik Pandya comes back now, it's a very easy switch in what Mohammad Siraj has done. I mean, or has not done. I think they will ask Mohammad Siraj to sit out. We'll obviously wait and watch for that one. But this is what Jasprit Bumrah has said about Mohammad Shami. And imagine in the 2 matches that that Mohammad Shami has played in this World Cup, he's outshone Jasprit Bumrah and in form Jasprit Bumrah. So imagine how good Shami has been. But he says he's outstanding. He's one of the legends of the game. I feel he's always been quite calm. He doesn't come out to be flamboyant, but the way he was bowling, as if he was playing a test match, and it was really, really wonderful to see. This is Jasprit Bumrah talking about Mohammad Shami. Also, I think, making up for taking that 1 wicket away. I was thinking Mohammad Shami will get a 5-wicket haul, but Jasprit Bumrah finished it off. So maybe that was a little thing, because they did have a bit of a chat where, Jasprit Bumrah had his arm around Mohammad Shami, must be saying, "Yaar, aaj aapka, I did not let you get that 5-wicket haul." But these two have been absolutely superb in the way they've been bowling for this Indian team. Let's talk about India's batting then. Rohit Sharma, in the post-match presentation, as he won the Man of the Match award, he said that, look, we threw it away, we got off to a decent start, but we should have capitalized on it. And he said that they were 20 to 30 runs short. So on a day, Chetan, when this team hasn't done as well when it comes to their batting, conditions were, of course, difficult. Doesn't that make Rohit Sharma's innings even more incredible in the way he balanced everything out? Just the way he picked the shots that he was going to play. There were no rash shots. It's amazing how he does this. He again gave you a masterclass in how to build an innings in ODIs.
Meha, I have a huge problem with how people describe Rohit Sharma's batting. I have a huge problem with it. Hitman is all very good because he's one of the best pashers of the ball, really. And the way in this tournament he started off, really, he's made it a point that I'm going to give fast starts to the team whenever possible. And yesterday also, I think I'm not going to take names. I don't want to do that. But yesterday also, one expert in the official broadcast said that he lives by the sword and he dies by the sword. When he got out, to describe his dismissal, in between, I respectfully just want to say that probably that respected ex-cricketer missed what Rohit Sharma played and what Rohit Sharma very, very often does. I use the word clutch batsman for Ben Stokes. I think if there is one clutch batsman in this Indian team, that is Rohit Sharma. Very often you see him on these tough pitches that he's going to take time. He's going to take that responsibility on his shoulders and say, look, I've been in decent form. I've been attacking the ball. But today what I'm going to do, I'm going to be watchful and I'm going to be responsible. And once he saw the kind of strokes that Virat Kohli and Shreyas Iyer played, to be honest, the responsibility and focus increased ever more on a very tough wicket. And let's be very honest, it was the toughest wicket to bat on through this tournament, especially in an India game. And he got the start and he made sure that he curbed his attacking instinct that we have seen in this tournament, and he played a gem of a knock. I mean, the way he got out was because it was important to go for the big shots at that time, get the runs. And I saw his reaction when the ball was in the air. When he struck the ball, it was in the air. It was going to mid-wicket. It hung around for a bit. And he was like, oh my God, please, 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 please. His reaction was like that. Chhod do, huh? So he was really engrossed in the way he was playing yesterday. And we have seen him do this. He's played such a knock at the Oval. This year in the Border Gavaskar Trophy, he played such a knock at Nagpur. Time and again, and these are just a couple of examples off the top of my head, but time and again, Rohit Sharma plays clutch knocks. He just does. And along with the ability to be the hit man, he has this clutch ability to just strap down and bat for the team. This is an important phrase in this World Cup. Bat for the team. And I think Rohit Sharma is probably the best batsman in this team to do that.
No, well said, because all this while, since the beginning of this tournament, we've been talking about the aggressive Rohit Sharma who's better at his strike rate, Rohit Sharma who wants to give India this quick start. But you have to see the kind of experience this player has, Jamie, to be able to change that as soon as the situation demanded it. And that's what stood out about his innings, right? Because he saw that there were wickets, India were losing at the other end. He knew the conditions were going to be difficult, so he was there to just grind it out before he could give a final flourish. Let's also talk a little bit about Shreyas Iyer's short ball problems. Is it a big deal? How big a deal is it? How long will India continue with Shreyas Iyer? And can something be done about it? Because it seems like it is playing on his mind, Jamie.
Ameya, you and Chetan will know. I think Chetan's also agreed with me on this here and elsewhere. I backed Shreyas Iyer a lot on this time when he was not injured. I said more than KL Rahul, I have more faith in Shreyas Iyer. Largely based on stats, once again, the topic that Chetan and I will often differ on. But he had the stats in the middle order, primarily 4 and 5, to rightfully walk back after that injury gap and bat in this World Cup. Many people said, no, he's been gone. Let's bat so-and-so. Let's bat Sky Rahul. I said, no, this guy has the game. And it was thrown at me many, many times that he has a short ball problem. I genuinely believe, and as I was way off the mark here, I genuinely believed in that ODI and T20 series against South Africa around the time before the T20 World Cup last year, when I saw him, on these same tracks, Meha, pulling, hooking Nagidi, Rabada, Anrik Nokia, and there was a fourth pace, maybe Magal. I don't know who the fourth pacer was. I genuinely believed he had turned a corner for the better and he had sorted out that short ball problem. But by my count, it's 3 times in a row. And I think 4th overall, 3 times in a row for sure, he has gotten out playing that short ball. So clearly he's not adapted. I'm not going to give an excuse, oh, he was gone for so long, because he still looked good since coming back, right? But that swagger, that collar up, it seems like he's one batsman who's right now at this time, and I hope I'm wrong here and he changes his ways sooner, he doesn't seem ready to change it. Main khelega, main karega. No, the very, very good players are defined by their acceptance and the reluctance to change it. When Virat Kohli first came, everyone, and this is what, we're talking about 17 years ago, isse short ball nahi khela jayega. Within 3 years or even less than that, he was playing the pull shot better than any Indian player for a long, long time. That's what separates Virat Kohli. Someone writes, someone says on a TV show, isko ye problem hai, he goes and he changes perceptions. the best players who are not naturally gifted, the Brian Laras, the Sachin Tendulkars, the Don Bradmans apart, the ones who get into that realm of greatness, they often change perceptions. And right now, to me, and I hope I'm wrong, it
Okay.
seems that Shreyas Iyer is not able to accept or change that problem. Because whether he's batting on 0, 19, 25, 27, he's succumbing to that same shot.
Yeah.
We know the faith this team has in him, but I fear that if he does it one more time, he's going to be dropped because you need your best 11
Yeah.
taking you into the knockouts. And right now, on 3 short balls, I don't think he fits it. They're going to give him one more chance at the Wankhede, his home ground, the
Yeah.
best batting track. You're up against a somewhat depleted bowling attack. I just fear if Shreyas Iyer plays that shot again, you have options. KL Rahul can bat 4. Ishan Kishan can come along. Yes, you expect him to come back, but right now, Shubman Gill is misfiring. KL Rahul, you never quite know what KL Rahul's going to turn up. Hardik Pandya's batted only once. You cannot have your number 4 misfiring and making the same mistakes.
Sure.
So I really fear whether he's going to last
Got
this
your
tournament.
point, but they've cued me to these visuals from Lucknow. Chetan was there in Lucknow. Those are fans outside the stadium having watched an Indian win. Look at them. There's joy. There is happiness on their faces, and they're excited. They're excited for this Indian team, and why not? This team's been doing exceptionally well. The only team to be undefeated in the tournament. They're firing on all 3 departments, and the fans cannot get enough of it. Look at all these people outside the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow. Chetan was there, enjoyed tunde kebab. I don't know whether he got any for us. Are you still in somewhere in transit or you're back home?
No, I'm in Lucknow.
Okay, so he's still in Lucknow.
I'm out. I'm off to Mumbai tomorrow and then Kolkata, so it's a long trip, this one.
Okay, just parcel the kebabs to us.
Definitely. If I get in, I should be able to get in today because, Friday night, Saturday night, it was really impossible to get in. Everybody would come from everywhere, and people did from Indore, Bhopal, Patna, Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai, some from even overseas. Everybody wanted to eat tunde kebab over the last 2 days. 3 days, in fact. Even after the game yesterday, people went to eat kebabs last night. A friend of mine was here from Gurgaon. She said, I'm going to drive back, but before that, I'm going to eat some kebabs. Look, I'll also say this. I've covered a few World Cups since 2011. There are a few matches that come to my mind in terms of the vibe, the experience, the fan experience. And I think Lucknow was one of those games that you remember for the last 10, 12, 15 years where cricket travel has become a fashion or a fad, where everybody wants to go to the matches, everybody wants to travel overseas and watch cricket matches, especially World Cup matches. I remember 2019 World Cup India-Pakistan, 2017 India-Pakistan Champions Trophy. In India, you have Mohali, India-Australia 2016. India-South Africa, MCG 2015. Unforgettable that. MCG was Melbourne was taken over by Indian fans last year. India-Pakistan 2022. So I think Lucknow was probably in that list where a lot of people came in from a lot of other places, which always happens in India as well. But the vibe at the ground, it was just really, really different, and I haven't seen that in any India match in this World Cup so far, which included that 100,000 capacity at the Ahmedabad India-Pakistan game.
Okay, let's also listen to some of the fans after that Indian win, and then we come right back.
This game, the atmosphere, everything was just amazing. I can't put into words how crazy it was, the experience. But just talk about the game. When India went to bat, I thought we were in a bit of trouble just where the wickets went. But then slowly, Bumrah, Shami, Kuldeep, Jadeja, they brought their game back. And I'm just proud of the boys today. We've done well, and we're going to keep marching on undefeated in this World Cup. It's coming home.
हम लोग बहुत खुश हैं. इंडिया हमारा जीत गया. सूर्य कुमार यादव ने बहुत अच्छा मैच खेला है.
लखनऊ से ही हूँ. इंडिया ने धमाल कर दिया है. सेमीफाइनल फाइनल में पहुंच रही इंडिया.
बॉलिंग है इंडिया की सुपरस्टार बॉलिंग, बेस्ट बॉलिंग ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट.
बहुत बढ़िया मैच था, बहुत बढ़िया. पैसे वसूल था. बहुत अमेजिंग. फर्स्ट हाफ में इतना ज्यादा बोर हो गई थी, मुझे नींद आने लगी. पहले तो लगा
हार जाएंगे, लेकिन जो सेकंड हाफ में जो इंडिया ने खेला है मजा आ गया।
ये मेरा तीसरा मैच है लगातार। मैंने अहमदाबाद वाला भी देखा है, मैंने धर्मशाला भी देखा और ये तीसरा मैच देख रहा हूँ और तीनों मैच जिता दिए हैं इंडिया। कम ऑन इंडिया!
बुमराह, शमी, रोहित शर्मा की बैटिंग मेन अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस सूर्य कुमार यादव का था, जो उस एंड पे जाके उसने टीम को संभाला और एक रिस्पेक्टेड टोटल के सामने। इंडिया वर्ल्ड कप मैच बहुत रोमांच भरा रहा है। इंडिया मजे रहा, इंडिया के बॉलर ने इतना मजा इतना मजा बांध देंगे, पैसा फुजल बस मैच हो गया। दिल्ली से लखनऊ आने सफल हो गया हमारा।
इंग्लैंड को हारनी थी, हारेगी इंडिया से, कभी नहीं जीतेगी अब इंग्लैंड। इंडिया
बॉलिंग अच्छा किया, बैटिंग में काफी सोचा था, पैसे बर्बाद गए टिकट के, पर लेकिन
कम टोटल है हमको।
हाँ, फिर बाद में इंग्लैंड का शुरू हुआ, मारना शुरू किया और थोड़ा बुरा लगा, पर लेकिन फिर विकेट गिरे तो अच्छा लगा। फिर विकेट गिरते ही रह गए, पता चला कोई मतलब है ही नहीं।
स्टार्टिंग में अप्स एंड डाउन्स थे। स्टार्टिंग में कैसा लग रहा था कि इंग्लैंड की साइड हो गया, फिर बाद में लगा इंडिया के साइड है, वापस इंग्लैंड के साइड, अब फाइनली इंडिया जीत गया। फिर तो सही था मतलब।
Just amazing to rely on our bowlers for a change, you know. Like now we're an all-round team. We're very amazing balance now, and it's amazing that we can perform on all cylinders. You know, fire on all cylinders. We make 229, no problem. You know, we'll still defend it and win by 100 runs. So amazing experience and worth coming all the way from the UK to support India. So Vishak, thank you. Bharat Mata ki!
Oh, I love these reactions. This is what cricket means to India. I mean, just look at them, and they've come from where? They've come from the US. There are some who've traveled from Delhi. Yeah. Like Chetan was saying, they've been traveling from Indore, from various parts of this country. This is how special this World Cup is. I love that little girl on top of her father's shoulders, Jamie. To think that, you know, there is a huge possibility now that India will not just get into the finals, but they're going to go completely undefeated. Are you seeing a straight no-loss win for this team?
Definitely, I think 9-0 heading into that semi-final is a distinct possibility, because like I said, I think we all probably picked out 3, if not 4 tough matches. Certainly, I thought Australia would be a much trickier match. I thought New Zealand would be a tough match. I thought at the time, pre-World Cup, yesterday's match would be tough. And then I thought that match against South Africa would be tough. So that's 4, potentially tricky matches. India have gone through each with flying colors. Yeah. So now that match on the 5th at Eden Gardens remains that one tough match, only because South Africa have been so good. But again, it depends which South Africa turns up. The one that wins the toss and bats first. I don't think Rohit Sharma is going to put in South Africa to bat, even budgeting for how brilliant his bowling is. And if South Africa are chasing, I don't think they'll even chase 250 against this brilliant bowling attack. Let's assume that India do have a great day once again. 9-0 is not an impossible expectation. But when is that 15 overs of madness? When is that half an hour of madness going to come? Yeah. If, like we've discussed, it is Australia-India, the Australian team that will have come back from consecutive losses, that will have come back from being written off, the confidence they will have will be matched only by the confidence of India being 9-0 or 8-1. That is going to be the match which will decide what happens in this World Cup. There's nothing to believe that India will not win that match, but that will be their toughest test. Is 11-0 unforeseeable? It's not. But what happens, I still think, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it'll be 9-0 going into semifinals. If they can overcome, I'm guessing, Australia, just like in 2011, the confidence gained from that quarterfinal by knocking out Australia. By the time the Indian team had got to the quarterfinal, they'd been pushed. They had depleted bowling resources, batting was up and down, they'd been pushed. But the confidence that they took into that Pakistan semifinal, to my mind, came from beating Australia, who'd won 3 World Cups in a row and who'd made 4 World Cup finals in a row. Just like that, if India can get past, again, I'm assuming it'll be Australia based on the current scenario. If they can defeat Australia at the Wankhede, it doesn't matter who's in the final. That final, to my mind, the team won't stand a chance against India. So 11-0 is a possibility, yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the match that will start today in Pune, which is between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. And Afghanistan have won the toss. They have opted to field. Both these teams are on same points. They still are in contention. I mean, even if it's a, it's a mathematical contention, but they are mathematically in contention for the top four. Miracles have happened, But yes, these two teams, what can they do today? This is a match that's being played in Pune. Sri Lanka have gotten their campaign back on track. They are currently in the 5th place with 4 points, which is the same as Afghanistan. Afghanistan have won the toss against Sri Lanka. But this has really been the best tournament for Afghanistan ever. The best World Cup for this team. There have been some incredible stories that we've heard from these players, but more than that, how they've kept this united front, how they've, they've beaten the best in the world, given that not many would have given them that chance. Where Sri Lanka, they've beaten Pakistan and a woeful England. They still have to face India and New Zealand and the Afghans. They've defeated England and Pakistan, but must deal with Australia and South Africa in their last 2 fixtures. A win today, that'll boost their hopes. So what is it going to be? Let's put that across to both Chetan and Jamie. Chetan, for both these teams, how important is this game and what will they look to do today?
This is a game which I would call a 4-pointer, really. I mean, yes, ideally you don't think that Afghanistan and Sri Lanka can get into the semi-finals, but let's not try and tell those two teams. I think they will say, oh, you know what, we can do it because we have been, beating some good teams. They both beaten England and they both beaten Pakistan as well. So, both England and Pakistan, I mean, the three of us had discussed so many times they were supposed to be in the semis. So I think both Afghanistan and Sri Lanka want to do the impossible. Mathematically, it's still possible as well. So this game is a 4-pointer that you're beating a fellow competitor for that top 4 spot or the top 5 spot or whatever it is. And let's not forget, there's a Champions Trophy qualification at hand as well. Sri Lanka wouldn't want to miss out on it. Afghanistan especially wouldn't want to miss out on it. So I think that's also something to play for. Obviously, Sri Lanka's last couple of games, are comparatively tougher. And at the same time, it also makes it interesting because Australia and South Africa will be wary of the Sri Lankan threat because both of those teams will be looking to qualify and most importantly, looking to avoid India in the semi-final because if you can play in Kolkata, why not? And avoid the Wankhede. Why not? Why not? You would want to avoid that. I think Australia would not want to play India in the semi-final. So, quite a lot at stake, even though mathematical permutations and combinations are keeping this tournament interesting at this point. And for today's game, I think Afghanistan will be up for the challenge.
So Afghanistan opting to field first, this is what their captain has said. He says, we wanted to bowl first. The reason is that there'll be dew afterwards. And there's one change for this Afghanistan side where Noor Ahmed sits out given the conditions and Fazal Faruqi comes in his place. Also, Kushal Mendes at the toss says that they were looking to bat first. They wanted to put up a good score on the board and defend. He says, in the last 3 matches, we've done well in all 3 parts, batting, bowling and fielding, and we'd like to do that as well. And he says, Chamira is playing and Kushal Pereira, he is not playing today. Karuna Ratne has come in his place. So those are the changes for Sri Lanka, though, Jamie. We've seen this with Afghanistan before as well, when they decided to bowl first in one of the earlier games and that didn't work out very well for them. How do you see it panning out for Afghanistan? Because I think between Afghanistan and Sri Lanka, the world would want Afghanistan to win another game here.
Absolutely. I mean, I would love for them to win, 2 matches from here. So the 3 of us discussed after that upset against England, overconfidence got the better of them when they chose to put in New Zealand in Chennai,
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's the same case here because let's face it, they just beat Pakistan by 8 wickets when chasing what was a somewhat tricky score, So I think that match has probably, again, given them the confidence, we can chase 280 odd. But I still will go with the traditional view of Afghanistan being a better team when putting up runs on the board and then choking the opposition. If Kusal Mendes is saying, I wanted to bat first, I think Sri Lanka probably have it in them to put up a good total. But like we've seen a couple matches in this tournament, I'm not able to, really identify who's got the upper hand here. Only because Sri Lanka have struggled, and Afghanistan have perhaps gone above expectations by beating England and Pakistan. I think if Afghanistan can keep them to under 250, then I would say yes, they could win. But can they keep this Sri Lankan team, which has just gotten better and better because a couple more batsmen are now scoring runs? I'm not so sure.
Okay, so we're completely out of time, but do you want to predict? We have a 6 o'clock today. Let's predict the first innings scores and we'll wrap this up.
275.
Okay, Jamie?
It's a good batting start, though.
Exactly. Something again. Afghanistan have a good bowling attack, so I don't think Sri Lanka could run away to get 310. I'm going to say, Chetan Singh. I'm going to say, 275, 285. Yep.
Okay. Similar ones, similar predictions. Thank you so much, Chetan and Jamie, for joining us here. We'll find out if they were close on their predictions, or or once again they were wrong. But that's it on this show. News 9 Live is what you need to subscribe to for all the latest from the world of sports. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.
With all this gear, you must be wondering if I'm climbing a mountain. Well, let me give you a wider look of this place. This is Asia's largest mountain of shame.
A mountain of waste, almost the height of the Qutub Minar.
When you enter capital cities or some